Does something look off to you in this video? Many viewers were quick to point out the similarly taped up boards that everyone just so happened to have with them when Ryan was out and about, and the fact that none of the paparazzi mentioned the recent Justin Baldoni and Blake drama that's taking the internet by storm. Many viewers think this was staged to distract or show that he still has adoring fans. What do you think?
All right, so you guys saw the title Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and a lawsuit disaster that apparently made Ryan explode. But what actually happened here? Because when you dig into this, it's a lot wilder than just a normal legal battle. There are red flags everywhere, and honestly, the whole thing looks incredibly shady. First off, let's talk about the complaint itself. The context of the complaint is almost nil. There are no actual facts in it. If this is such a huge mistake and inappropriate, and it's going to get them in trouble, why would they have even done it? The silence in the Reynolds household after this whole thing broke was deafening. Ryan reportedly went ballistic when he realized Blake's legal masterstroke had just set their entire brand on fire. This wasn't just a PR hiccup, it was a calculated legal maneuver that blew up in their faces. This wasn't Deadpool charm saving the day. This was a high-stakes disaster that threatened to drag both Ryan and Blake into a legal abyss they might never crawl out of. The golden couple of Hollywood just hit a wall of their own making, and the fallout is proving to be more explosive than any blockbuster movie they've ever starred in. Imagine filing a lawsuit against absolutely nobody. That is exactly what happened when a mysterious entity called Vansan Inc. stepped into the light. This company, which shares a business address with Ryan and Blake, filed a lawsuit against John Doe. In the legal world, this is a massive red flag. You don't sue a mystery person unless you are hiding something or trying to bypass the system. It looked like a shady attempt to stay under the radar while gaining access to sensitive information. But the internet is far sharper than Blake gave it credit for, and the optics of this secret filing are nothing short of terrible. Legal experts are calling this an abusive process, a move designed to manipulate the court rather than seek justice. Why would a successful actress and her team pull a self-destructive stunt like this? It's being described as a fake lawsuit, a placeholder used to trigger subpoenas and fish for data. By not naming any actual defendants, Blake's team was seemingly trying to skirt the usual transparency of the law. It's a mystery we were all supposed to ignore, but instead, it's become the catalyst for a PR nightmare that Ryan Reynolds never saw coming. This case has already been dismissed, right before the media started hammering the narrative against Justin Baldoni. The lawsuit appeared on September 27th and vanished by December, right before the media started hammering the narrative against Justin. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a synchronized effort to gather confidential information under the guise of a legal dispute. It looks like a wild, out-of-nowhere fluke, but the paper trail says otherwise. The most damning piece of evidence is the address. Vansan Inc. isn't some random offshore entity. It operates out of 888 7th Avenue, the same spot associated with Blake and Ryan's business interests. Agent Eric Binder is the name on the filing, linking the whole operation directly back to the couple. This company was effectively a shield, a convenient little tool used to get hands on private phone records and internal communications that should have been off limits. If this doesn't scream a shady scheme to bypass legal procedures, I don't know what does. Ryan's involvement is no longer just as a supportive spouse. My reporters are confirming that too. Yes, this case was dismissed. Unclear when, but from what I gathered as well, right before the CRD was filed in New York from Blake. Ryan's brand is collateral damage in this mess. He signed up for red carpets and gin commercials, not subpoenas and bar association investigations. His whole persona is based on being the coolest guy in the room, but now he's being labeled a co-conspirator. The legal filings allege that he wasn't just a supportive husband, but an active participant in the actions against the Wayfarer production team. He's stuck in a blast radius of Blake's making, wishing he could Deadpool his way out of a reality that involves real lawyers and real consequences. The charm is wearing thin as the legal bills pile up. It was dismissed voluntarily by Vansan Inc. just before the New York Times article came out. The public reaction has been a masterclass in how to lose the room. Blake's attempt to outwit Justin has turned into a spectacle where she is the one getting memified and dissected. People are calling her a manipulative little twerp and questioning her kindness. She tried to frame herself as the underdog, but her enormous power in Hollywood makes that a hard sell. When you have the resources to file mystery lawsuits and hire the best PR teams in the world, you aren't the underdog. You're the one holding the leash, and the public is starting to realize they've been sold a manufactured story. As more and more went through the state of California and other sort of filings, it was owned by Blake Reynolds. Even other celebrities are getting dragged into the comparison. Katy Perry recently had her own PR meltdown over a joke from Wendy's, the fast food chain. It sounds ridiculous, but it fits the same pattern of celebrity entitlement. Katy played the victim over a lighthearted tweet, much like Blake has used the victim angle to justify her legal moves. It shows a growing trend of A-listers who think they are above criticism and can use their platforms to crush anyone who doesn't follow their script. Wendy's took the high road while Hollywood looked like it was having a collective meltdown over a side of fries. Vansan's complaint was created purely with an ulterior motive, which has its ethical implications. If that's true with regards to the New York State Bar, it probably has some implication. Nobody should be wasting the court's time. The internet's perspective has shifted brutally. What started as a campaign to demolish Justin Baldoni's reputation has spiraled into a critique of Blake Lively's character. The secret subpoenas and Vansan Incorporated's involvement didn't paint her as a hero. They painted her as a hot mess who doesn't know where the line is. The digital world no longer accepts the celebrity narrative at face value. They're looking at California filing, shared addresses, and suspicious timing. Blake thought she was playing 4D chess, but she might have just checked herself. Lawyers claim the newly uncovered lawsuit was common and appropriate. Inside, sources say Ryan is freaking out. The man who practically invented the perfect husband brand is now seeing whispers of marital tension. People close to him say he's not celebrating Blake's brilliant legal strategy. He's mysteriously quiet on social media about the drama, a huge departure from his usual witty presence. He didn't sign up for a lawsuit circus, and he certainly didn't sign up for his production company to be accused of plotting a smear campaign with the New York Times for months. I've learned there was a confidentiality agreement between Stephanie Jones and Baldoni. The legal filings are getting weirder. Mentioning a burned book in a formal response to a harassment allegation is almost unheard of. It shows a level of sass, suggesting the Reynolds team doesn't take the legal system seriously. They seem to think if they make enough jokes, the problems will disappear. But the rules of pleading aren't a Twitter feud. By trying to be funny, they're coming across as arrogant and out of touch. It's a risky move that could alienate the very people they need to win over in court. Voluntarily giving internal communications between Stephanie Jones and Baldoni to a third party, regardless of the purpose, would violate that confidentiality. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit specifically names Ryan and Blake as plotting for months to destroy him. This isn't just a disagreement over a film edit. It's an allegation of a long-term conspiracy. They reportedly worked with the media to skew the narrative before Justin even knew what hit him. The timing of the New York Times expose is cited as key evidence. It came out just as the feud was heating up, looking like a perfectly timed strike. If Baldoni can prove this collusion, the legal and financial fallout for the Reynolds empire will be astronomical. The fact that Vansan Incorporated voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit just before the news broke is perhaps the biggest smoking gun. It suggests they got what they wanted, the records, and then tried to make the whole case vanish before anyone noticed. But the trail was already there. You can't just use the courts as a temporary tool for data mining and expect no one to ask questions. The ethical implications for the lawyers involved are massive. Nobody should be wasting the court's time with placeholder lawsuits, and the Bar Association is likely already scrutinizing these filings. Blake Lively has found a new level of fame, but it's not the good kind. She tried the "I'm being persecuted because I'm a woman" act, but the public didn't buy it. When you're caught using shady companies and secret legal moves, the victim card loses its power. She's managed to outdo her previous PR disasters by creating a legal one that threatens her husband's career as much as her own. Welcome to the world of legal chaos, where the script isn't written by your PR team, and the ending might not be a happy one for the golden couple. Over the past couple of weeks, clips have emerged about Ryan highlighting problematic moments, There's also been the whole kid controversy, which definitely doesn't make him look great. The ultimate question is whether Ryan will continue to stand by this disaster or start to distance himself. His brand depends on being likable, but this level of manipulation is the opposite of likable. If things continue down this path, it could be years before either of them recovers from the fallout of the fake lawsuit. Hollywood is watching closely as this train wreck unfolds. What started as a plan to crush a co-star has turned into a masterclass on how to destroy your own credibility. In the end, the truth has a way of coming out.